After more than 30 years of marriage, my mother began an affair with a man who is 15 years younger than her. On July 31st, everything came crashing down. My father found out about the affair in the most humiliating way possible. The man she was seeing, her colleague, called my dad directly, not once, not twice, but 3 separate times while my father was at work. He told him point blank about the relationship. There was no hesitation, no attempt to hide. It was almost as if he wanted to twist a knife and make sure the wound was as deep as possible. When my dad confronted my mom, she admitted it. There was no denial, no attempt to cover her tracks. But what shocked me more than the admission itself were her words that followed. She looked at my dad and said that this man was a real man because he had the courage to confess. She implied that my father should somehow be grateful to the man who had just destroyed his marriage. That phrase still echoes in our heads like a cruel joke we can't shake off. Since then, she's been feeding my father all sorts of things that this man supposedly tells her, that my dad never cared about her, that he ignored small problems, that he failed in ways she never once mentioned in 30 years of marriage. She says this man tells her to keep secrets, to not share her feelings with my father. And then, almost in the same breath, she tells my dad that it's not his fault at all, that he's been the perfect husband, and that the problem is hers alone. But her actions tell the real story. She secretly signed a lease for a new apartment behind his back, fully intending to leave him without a word. All the while, she continued to sleep beside him every night, whispering, "I love you," kissing him goodbye, pretending everything was fine. She works the night shift. So during the day, when she should have been sleeping at home, she began turning off the location settings on her phone. One afternoon, the last location we saw was her car parked at a Target parking lot. Then nothing. We panicked, thinking something terrible had happened to her. The truth was much more painful. She was with him. What haunts me the most is the timeline. Their 30th wedding anniversary was in June. She began the affair in April. So while my father was planning a celebration for 3 decades of marriage, she was already lying to him, already planning to leave. The betrayal wasn't just in her actions, but in the way she let him celebrate, knowing she had already chosen someone else. My parents had been married for over 3 decades. 8 years ago, they bought a quiet lakeside home together. My father loves that place more than anything. The stillness of the water, the sound of the trees, the peace of being away from the world. It's his sanctuary. He told me recently that he doesn't want to leave because it's the last place where he still feels safe. But now, he looks at a $300,000 mortgage that he must somehow carry alone, along with the debts that piled up from my mother's spending habits. He's cutting every non-essential just to survive. He canceled the pet insurance. He stopped all his subscriptions. He's trying desperately to hold everything together. And in between the bills and the practical decisions, he sends me messages that shatter my heart. He tells me how the dog, the one we originally got from my mother, sits by the window waiting for her to come home. He tells me about how he saw a fawn by the water, and for a brief moment his instinct was, "I can't wait to tell her about this," before reality hit him again. She's gone. She came back to the house once more to collect more of her things. My father told me that she made him feel small, insignificant. No apology, no regret, just coldness. I'm 35 years old. The man my mother is seeing is only 39. He recently divorced and has 2 young children of his own. My mother is 55, nearing retirement, yet she's signing a lease for an apartment under her own name. She's even asked why my father didn't leave her money for rent after paying the household bills that week. The disconnect from reality is staggering. She hasn't reached out to me at all, not to explain, not even tell her side of the story. And honestly, I don't know what she could possibly say. I've heard enough already. She admitted to my father that she asked this man if he understood what she was giving up. 30 years of marriage, her husband, and her daughter. And still, she went ahead anyway. So now, I'm doing everything I can to help my father survive this. But I'm grieving, too. I've lost a version of my mother I once believed in. I've lost a family story I thought I knew. And I'm carrying not only my own heartbreak, but his as well. I want nothing more than to see my dad heal, to watch him rebuild, to help him find solid ground again. Maybe once I see him start to move forward, I'll be able to begin healing, too. But for now, I just feel like we are both standing in the wreckage of something we never thought could break.